What is going on, everybody? Ike Ude here with another episode of Purified Hustle. Today I'm just going to be dropping in to give you guys a little spiel for today. A little spiel that the collective might need to hear for their self-improvement, to hear for the little things and the nuances. Everything, me, correlated along the lines of communication, self-improvement, and, Purified Hustle, here we're just trying to squeeze what it is that we can out of the life experience. Life is an experience, and when we are present, when we are aware, when we are using all of our senses and our resources and tools to the maximum capability, it also allows us to, maximize and get the best out of our life. They're called, these people are talking about looks maxing. I hear that. Let's get into some life maxing. So today is going to be all about elimination. It's April, it's the end of April, it's the 4, it's the structure, and oftentimes we have everything written down that we need to get done. We have the structure labeled, but then there's still so many little nuances. There's still that little lag from thought to completion, and oftentimes what I'm realizing is going to help the collective, is going to help all of us a lot today, is learning to eliminate certain things that are blocking us off from the source, that are blocking us off from that direct line to the information that we want, that's blocking us off from the direct action that we need to take in order to get exactly what it is that we are looking for. So eliminating, what are the things that are causing you the most anxiety, that are causing you the most stress? And you got to look into how you can start to eliminate those things. For me, communication has always been a tough one, has always been a battle. And in learning to improve my communication, it's started to help me so much, because one of the most important things in order to get a clearer communication, to get a clearer thought form, is by clearing a lot of the different things that are going on mentally. It's about clearing that out, because the information's all there already, and it's more so about tuning into that rather than you trying to force any kind of situation, rather than you trying to force any kind of reality or expression out of yourself. It doesn't actually need to be forced. There's actually less resistance that's needed. There's usually lots of parts of you that actually want to improve, and there's usually just a small little nuances holding you back. But the issue is that we have such repetitive habits with the negatives, and these become stronger holding patterns. These become cemented in our day-to-day, and these become the reason why we're still living in our shell. When it is your habitual loop to kind of stay in your shell, not say anything, but then you're looking for more business relationships, you're looking for more partners and relationships to communicate with, to travel with, and all these different kinds of things. What it is that's blocking you out is often your ego. It's often a loud voice that's somehow so loud in your head that you can be in your room fighting it, and there's no actual sounds happening other than the different habitual patterns that you've held on to over and over. So today, let's focus on removing one thing: a habit, a thought pattern, a way you rush your speech, something that doesn't match with who you are becoming. Today's less about starting and more about clearing space. You don't need more discipline today. You need more honesty. The things frustrating you right now are what you need to drop. You can't express a new version of yourself while holding on to old habits. Clarity today comes from removing, not adding. If something feels heavy today, it's probably not meant to move forward with you. Your next level requires less noise, not more effort. The reset you are looking for starts with what you are willing to release. You don't fix your communication by forcing it. You fix it by simplifying it. So yeah, for me, a lot of the big improvements I've seen in my communication journey has been really about, taking those L's that the ego doesn't want to take. The ego really wants to stay safe. So even if you're terrible at communicating with people, the ego's more okay with staying safe today and not speaking to anyone, like the ego's okay with that, because for the first week, for the first month of you going out there, you're probably going to have situations where you embarrass yourself. You might have situations where your date laughs, where the people in the whole group laugh because you stumble up on something. And your ego really is trying to shell you off from taking those major hits. It's not that those hits are actually going to harm you when it happens. It's not that those hits make you worse of a person. It's often through the beat downs like that we get stronger. It's always through the beat downs that make us stronger. There hasn't been a strong warrior who didn't get beat up trillions of times and learn from it, So, and I don't want to make it seem like going out and messing up is the only way in order for you to get better, because that's honestly not the correct mindset to have. But it's the freedom to let loose. It's the freedom to mess up. It's the freedom that messing up or doing it right isn't restraining you. You develop holding patterns, and you start freezing up when you are saying stuff, because in your mind you've held onto some thought or some figment of perfection. And when in the moment you realize that this thing isn't happening perfectly, you start to get tense, you start to squeeze, you start to try to fit it within this tight rope that you've created for yourself. It's not being judged by, Simon from America's Next Top. It's not being judged by some amazing professional analyst. It's just you in your mind. And oftentimes when you pay attention to other amazing speakers, other people who you might view as amazing speakers, when you really notice the rhythm that they speak with, it's not perfect. Oftentimes it's horrid. It's just the fact that they are so confident in owning themselves that it doesn't matter. Like, some of the best speakers stumble so much. Like, you might hear a president just be trying to say something about the economic reform, and he's like, and the economic reform is blah, 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 and they just go back on their tangent. A really nervous person will use that little, or a perfectionist will use that little blip, and they'll just harp on it. And the whole presentation stops there because they're so distraught that happened, A lot of the times it's just about who has the most swag. And what you have to understand about the swag is that the swag isn't some perfect balance. The swag is the fact that you are continuously getting thrown off balance and catching it in a nice way. So that's what you guys have to understand. It's not about being perfect. It's about owning the slip-ups. It's about learning that you slip up and knowing what to do with the slip up. It's about making communication more of this game, more of this playground where everyone is there and everyone is doing their best to balance on something, and someone might fall and laugh and jump back on and bounce again. Don't be the kid in the playground that's like there, so serious about doing something on the tightrope. They fall and they go home and cry and they're all serious about it. Be the kid that falls on their butt, gets right back up, is first to lunch after falling on their butt. Who cares? You know what I mean? And that's often the time what you really have to realize about what's going on in the social playing field, in this social hierarchy. It's often you judging yourself in what you think matters significantly more than what the surrounding opinions are. And when you learn to care about your own opinions. You start to learn to tap into the more fine-tuned muscles that you have that might be controlling things like you being nervous and stuff. It's really about you learning to control yourself and own yourself. The human body, I'd like to say, is like a Lamborghini that nobody gave the driver's manual to. No one actually tells you, oh, this is how you think happy. This is how you switch to mad. This is how you use your emotions for this. It's not like we were taught to genuinely actually use our brain. No one gave us a manual on our nose, on our eyeballs, nothing. So with that being said, y'all, start to tap into the flow, start to tap into the swag, start to own who you truly are. And this is gonna, be the biggest milestone for you as far as your social status, your communication, your ability to, find partners and get more work and stuff like that. And of course, there's a lot more things that will help, like your overall actual level of productivity, the way that you view yourself in the work field, the way that you compare yourself to others. And we're going to be really starting to go into all of these kinds of topics. As you can see, I've got time now. I'm here right now. I'm in Ohio finishing up one of my tour managing gigs, and then we're going to be off to a different city pretty soon. So stay tuned for that. And with that being said, y'all, it's your boy Ike Ude. This is great because I actually feel like I could talk all day about this. So I've found a new little, niche in the marketplace of how I can speak about communication in a way of how speaking of communication personally helps me, because I'm realizing it's not all just about the structured speech therapy kinds of things for you to, become just an overall better expressing an expressive person. We all have our own unique markers, and oftentimes it really does take us figuring out what that is and owning it. So we're going to be looking way more into that. And all right, y'all, I'm done. It's your boy Ike Ude. Pray if I also out with another video. Hope you guys are happy about the return. All right, y'all, peace.